Okay. In this chapter, first thing what we have studied, that is about the asexual reproduction, right? Asexual reproduction. So in asexual reproduction, we have studied different types. So first we have studied about the fission. In the fission, again two types, binary fission and the multiple fission that we have studied. And examples very important. Then about the fragmentation, fragmentation, then about the regeneration, regeneration. So this is also type of the sexual reproduction. Then vegetative propagation, vegetative propagation. So this I will write shortly. Then spore formation, right? So these all are very important concepts and examples are very important. Okay, so these are the type of the asexual reproduction, and the definition of the different types of the asexual reproduction and examples. These all are very important topic in this chapter. Okay, after that, just I want to recall this topic. Okay, sexual reproduction. Sexual reproduction. So first we studied about the sexual reproduction in the flowering plants. In the flowering plants, how the sexual reproduction takes place, right? So how the flower is able to form the seeds, and how the transfer of the pollen grains takes place. So these all we have studied in the sexual reproduction in the flowering plants. Then after that, human reproduction we have studied. Human reproduction. Very importantly, you should know about the male reproductive system and the female reproductive system, and what are the functions of the different parts of this reproductive system. So these all points that we have studied in the human reproduction part, right? Then the last topic, that is about the reproductive health, that we studied in the last class, reproductive health. And what are the sexually transmitted diseases, bacterial diseases and viral diseases, that we all studied in the last topic. So we have completed this topic. I hope if you have any doubts, you can ask. Otherwise, I will start the di discussion of the question answer. Okay. My first question is, so in today's topic, we are discussing the questions that are given in the NCRT book. After that, I will solve the question which are asked in the previous year question papers, in the different question papers. Okay. My first question is, a sexual reproduction takes place through budding in. So budding is the type of the asexual reproduction. So that takes place in amoeba, yeast, plasmodium, leishmania. What is the correct answer? Please tell me. What is the correct answer for this question? Oppo something is joined. What's your name? Okay. Here, in amoeba, we can observe the asexual type of the reproduction, but it is what it is. It is called as a fission, binary fission, right? Then plasmodium, that also shows the multiple fission, and in leishmania also we can observe the binary fission. Okay, binary fission. But in the yeast we can observe the budding, and in the yeast also um yeah, yeast and in hydra. So these both organisms, they reproduce by budding. Okay, so option B is the correct answer. Second question. Which of the following is not a part of the female reproductive system in human beings? Ovary, uterus, vas deferens, fallopian tube. Yes, which of the following is the not a part of the female reproductive system? Just imagine the diagram of the female reproductive system. Okay, just I will draw it roughly. And you can observe the finger-like projections here. And ovary. This is the fallopian tube. Just imagine this is the fallopian tube. And this part, these are the pair of ovaries. That is also present in the female reproductive system. And fallopian tube. This is called as a fallopian tube. And this is the uterus, right? So ovary, uterus, fallopian tube. So these three are the part of the female reproductive system. But option C was difference. It is not a part of the female reproductive system. It is a part of the male reproductive system. Okay. And it is also a duct that helps for the transport of the sperms. Question number 3. The anther contains sepals, ovules, pistil, pollen grains. Here, the anther, so if you draw the diagram of the flower, okay, just imagine this is the flower. Here, these are the sepals and this is the petal. So these are the petals and this is pistil. Stigma, style and ovary together it is called as a pistil, and you can observe the anthers here. So these are the anthers. On the anthers, you can observe the powder like yellow color structure. These are nothing but pollen grains. Sepals, they are the green color protective structure. Ovules, they are present inside the ovary. Ovary ಒಳಗಡೆ ಏನಿರುತ್ತೆ ovules ಇರುತ್ತೆ. Pistil, that is totally called as a female reproductive structure. And pollen grains, they are present on the anthers. Okay. The anthers contain pollen grains. Anthers ಮೇಲ್ಗಡೆ ಏನಿರುತ್ತೆ anthers ಇಂದ pollen grains release ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. Okay. Fourth question. Biological process that has been shown in the diagram is. So here diagram is given. Just observe the diagram and see the option. Production of progenies by fragmentation method. Production of progenies by multiple fission method. Regeneration of tissue development in specialized cells. Asexual reproduction by the vegetative propagation. It is not a vegetative propagation, so that we observe in the uh, plants, right? Stems and leaves. So these are used for the vegetative propagation. And see the first option. Production of the progenies by fragmentation method. It is not a fragmentation, right? So this is the planaria. So just observe the diagram. This is the planaria, and planaria that reproduce through the regeneration of tissues by the development in the specialized cells. So that is the correct answer. Fission that we can observe in the amoeba. So option C is the correct answer. Question number 5. In humans, the testes are located outside the lower abdomen in the scrotum because to protect the testes from the mechanical shocks, to increase the production of the sperms, to maintain the secretion of testosterone, to maintain the temperature required for the sperm production. Yes, what is the correct answer for this question? Testes, pair of testes, they are located inside the sac-like structure just outside the lower abdomen. Okay, because these testes, they require lower temperature than our body temperature to produce the sperms. So here, what is the correct answer? To protect the testes from the mechanical shocks, to increase the production of sperms, to maintain the secretion of testosterone, to maintain the temperature required for the sperm production. So option D is the correct answer, because here clearly you can see the answer, to maintain the temperature required for the sperm production. Okay. Sixth question. What are the advantages of the sexual reproduction over the asexual reproduction? Okay. So how this sexual reproduction is useful than the asexual reproduction? What is the meaning of this sexual reproduction? What is the meaning of this sexual reproduction? It means it involves two parents. Two parental organisms are involved to produce the new organisms. A sexual reproduction, we can observe only one parent, so that is able to produce the new organism. So here, what are the advantages of this sexual reproduction? First thing, sexual reproduction is the process of the combining the two different genetic material. Yes. So in the sexual reproduction, from the male and from the female, there is a uh, combining of the genetic material takes place, resulting offspring is that share the similar traits with their parents but are genetically diverse. They are similar to their parents, but genetically they are not similar. They contain both the genetic material from the parents. Second point, in sexual reproduction, large number of species with variations are produced. Thus, it ensures the survival of the species in the population. So here, many many organisms are produced, but with variation. So all the organisms which are produced, they all are different. And newly formed individual has characteristics of two genetically different parents, and variations are more viable in sexual reproduction. So when the variation occur, so that will be helpful for the surviving in the environment. That variation that leads to the speciation. Okay, so that will help for the survival in the environment. So like this, the sexual reproduction have the more advantages than the sexual reproduction. Seventh one, what are the functions performed by the testes in human beings? So testes, you know that is the male reproductive structure. Testes are the male reproductive male reproductive structure, and they are located inside the scrotum, and that helps to maintain the temperature less than the body temperature. That will helpful for the production of the sperms, that regulate the production of the sperms. Sorry, that help for the production of the sperms, and the uh, testosterone which is released by the testes, that regulate
You cannot crack NEET unless you go through rigorous testing before NEET exam. In last 4 years, 5,500 students have gotten into government medical colleges writing
Hello, my dear students. Sorry for the inconvenience. Okay. So, seventh question. What are the functions performed by the testes in human beings? So, here in human beings, testes, what are the functions of the testes? So, they gametes, that is called as this, sperms are produced inside testes, and that is the first function. Testes also produce a hormone called testosterone. Testosterone hormone that is produced by the testes, and this testosterone that is responsible for the secondary sexual characters developing at the time of the puberty in males. These testosterone hormones that regulate the production of the sperms, and also they are helpful for the development of the characters, sexual characters during time of the puberty in males. Okay, so that is the importance of the testes. Then, why does menstruation occur? Why does menstruation come? So what the answer to this question? In female body, blood and mucus out vagina as menstruation. Okay. So from the female body, the blood and mucus, so that flows through the vagina, that is called as a menstruation. But how we talk menstruation? If the egg present inside the uterus does not get fertilized. Egg. Every month, one egg is by the ovary, and if that egg is not fertilized or not implanted in uterus, lining of the uterus breaks down slowly. If the implantation does not occur, the lining of the uterus that breaks slowly, and from the blood vessels that flow through the vagina. That complete process is called as a menstruation. Okay, so we should write the complete answer like this. What is menstruation function? Next one, draw a label diagram longitudinal section of a flower. So this flower diagram, it is asked many times in old question paper, in the mini paper. So what you should do here? So you should draw the flower, longitudinal section of the flower, and label the different parts of the flower: filament, anther, petal, sepal, style, stigma. So these all parts that you have to label. Okay, that will be asked for 2 marks or 3 mark question. What are the different methods of contraception? So contraception methods means to prevent a pregnancy. What are the different preventing the pregnancy? Here, contraception methods, birth control methods that include totally condoms or contraceptive pills, some tablets, okay, and some sterilization techniques and surgical methods are used in that. If you first one, barrier methods, barrier methods. In this method, fertilization of the ovum and sperm blocked. You can use one can use the condoms as a barrier. So they prevent the meeting of the fertilization of the ovum and the sperms. And oral contrast means so they- uh, these hormones they prevent the pregnancy. They change these tablets. They contain the hormones, and hormones they prevent the pregnancy. Okay, so that is called as oral pills. And implants and surgical methods. Surgical methods that involves the um, removal of some part of the fallopian tube, or in a male also one difference cut and tied ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಸೊ ಅದನ್ನ ನಾನು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೇನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೆ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ಸೊ ಮೇಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿಯಾಗಿ ಸ್ಟೆರಿಲೈಸೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಫಿಮೇಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿಯಾಗಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತ. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಆರ್ ದ ಸರ್ಕಲ್ ಮೆಥಡ್. ಇಂಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ಸ್ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ನಥಿಂಗ್ ಬಟ್ ದ ಕಾಪರ್ ಟಿ that is implanted inside the uterus, and that will be that prevent the attachment of the embryo inside the uterus, and also prevent the that enter into the fallopian tube. Okay, so these are the different methods of the contraceptive. Next question. How are the mode of reproduction different in unicellular and multicellular organisms? How modes of reproduction different? So, in unicellular and multicellular organisms, in unicellular organism, you can observe the um, reproduction, asexual type, the reproduction like fission and budding. Reproduction takes place by regenerating the budding and vegetative propagation, spore formation, and sexual reproduction. So, mainly you may observe the sexual or spore formation or vegetative propagation also you can observe, and regeneration and budding also you can observe. But unicellular organism you can observe the fission or budding type of the reproduction. So that is the difference between the unicellular organisms and multicellular organisms. What could be the reasons for adopting the contraceptive methods? What are the reasons for the adopting the contraceptive methods? Why the people want to uh, adopt the contraceptive method? Because couples are not interested to get issues early. So they are not interested to grow the child. And second is pregnancy will make major on the body and the woman, if she is not ready for it, her health will be adversely affected. The woman should be mentally and physically ready to take this of the challenges and things happen during the pregnancy. And there may be a pressure to avoid having children from the government agencies. So these are the reason for the to adopting the contraceptive methods. The next question is, how does reproduction help in providing stability to populations of species? So, what is the answer? Organisms fill well-defined place or niches in the ecosystem. And the consistency of DNA copying during the reproduction is very important for the maintenance of the body design features that allow the organism to use that the particular niche. Reproduction is therefore into the stability of the population of the species. Okay, so that is the answer. Next question. Does the embryo inside body? So after the fertilization, the zygote and that will develop into an embryo, and the embryo that get attaches to the lining of the uterus. So after the uterus that